do a water fast. Little background about myself. Recently I finished a 15-day fast. I would go as far as to say that those were some of the best 15 days of my life. Just the clarity is out of this world. So at the start of my 15-day fast, I weighed in at 253 pounds, some big lovin's there. Finished it at 215, so net loss of 38 pounds. I've since then got down to 190. I'm kind of on a different protocol right now. That perhaps a video for another day. But I want to go over why are we fasting, okay? This is not for fat loss. This is about inflammation, okay? Fat is not your problem. It's merely a symptom of your problem. Your true problem is an unhealthy body, okay? All disease begins in the gut. That's Hippocrates. But all disease begins because of inflammation, okay? Chronic inflammation is the root of all disease. We're looking to reduce this inflammation. We're looking for your body to de-swell so it has time to kill off its weak cells and make room for new ones, make room for new healthy cells. So the other thing everyone might not realize is they're not as fat as they think they are. That giant pot belly you have down there, that fluid wave, that's chronic visceral inflammation, okay? That's called ascites. And essentially, that's the primary reason I did my fast, was to reduce the ascites, because I thought, I'm like, man, my liver's probably swollen right now. So that's why I did my fast. But in regards to that ascites, you're sick, okay? You're sick and your symptoms haven't caught up with you yet. So really, it's just a matter of time until your symptoms catch up with you and it causes something that really impacts your life. I mean, maybe you're already seeing some minute symptoms, maybe a little autoimmune issues going, rosacea, eczema, etc. So originally I planned on just doing a 4-day fast, but by day 4 I was like, man, I feel good. So from there I took it to day 5, then 7, 10, made it 15. And honestly, I could have done more, really. I wish I would have gone 21 maybe, but let's get into how to properly do this. Get a pen and paper. I mean, I have my own little notes written down here for the video, but get a pen and paper and kind of write down the steps and how to go into this. So quick side note, try to make your day 1 of your fast on a Thursday or Friday, because really days 2, 3, and 4, they suck as your body begins to burn the last of its glucose and glycogen and begins to move into using fat for fuel. Remember, sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine. It sucks, okay? You feel it. The brain fog, that mitochondrial fatigue in the prefrontal cortex, you're feeling that. And in time, I mean, the leptin and the hunger hormone in your stomach is screaming. But trust me, just get there. Once you get to day 5, it's just total game changer. It really is. Alrighty, so here we go. Day 1. This is the easiest day of them all, as in regards to you don't have to really worry about anything. All you need to do is just get a gallon of water into you, okay? This is kind of a burner day into day 2, where from day 2 and on, we're really going to start doing some little tips and tricks here. But emphasis on day 1, I want a gallon of water. Make it only drink out of glass, okay? It's going to be the least toxic material to drink out of, and we're looking to minimize toxins throughout this whole fast. On top of that, try to drink only filtered water. Fluoride is a neurotoxin, so try to stay away from tap water. Alrighty, day 2 and on are going to be the exact same. Here's really where I'm going to, because I wrote it down because there's a lot of different things. And I want to make sure I cover it all in the video. All right, so from day 2 and on every day, you're going to wake up, pee, do what you got to do. Then you drink 10 ounces of lukewarm water with 1 teaspoon of organic Himalayan pink salt dissolved into it. We want lukewarm, not ice cold water, because cold foods and drinks can be hard on the spleen. And I mean, ideally, I don't want to start your day off with a shock to a specific organ or to the body or whatever. And the Himalayan pink salt, that's going to help to reduce your blood pressure as well as kind of stimulate a electrolyte balance for the day. All right, and from day 2 and on, we're going to drink half a gallon to a gallon and a half of the filtered water out of the glass per day. Notice I didn't specify an amount here. This is where I really want you to listen to your body. Your body's going to tell you when you're thirsty, okay? And there's no specific criteria. Like I said, we're all different. And never force yourself to drink, okay? Like I said, your body has an innate intelligence, and if you listen to that, it will tell you when you're thirsty. That innate intelligence is actually how I figured out that I could keep going to day 15. I was just like, okay, they were like, hey, Sky, when are you going to stop? And I was just like, my body will tell me. And day 15, my body didn't really tell me. I was just like, okay, let's come out of it. But yeah, like I said, listen to your body. It's going to tell you when it's thirsty, when it wants water. All right, lastly, before I get into the ground rules and all the little tips and tricks, non-dietary, that you need to do, before bed, you're going to do 1 to 2 tablespoons of Bragg apple cider vinegar, okay? It must be Bragg. That's the brand of the organic apple cider vinegar. And this is going to help balance the pH of your liver, as well as kind of stimulate the hydrochloric acid in your stomach. Fun fact for you, most of the time, acid reflux, heartburn, that's actually a result from too little acid in the stomach, not too much. A lot of people don't realize that. All right, ground rules. Write these down. Before I get into how to come out of the fast, we're going to go over these real quick. So get a half an hour of direct sunlight every day. All right, as much as you can. If you got to do every other day, go ahead and do every other day. No sunscreen, no nothing. I want direct sunlight. I want it how our ancestors did it, okay? None of this toxic sunscreen. If you're going to put something on, maybe do a little coconut oil, but I'd rather you just get direct sunlight. Secondly, most of us are morning showers, especially before you go into work. End your shower with 5 minutes of ice cold water. I'm talking to the point that you shiver. This is going to help drop cortisol levels. Cortisol is a stress hormone from the adrenal glands, as well as from the dropping of the cortisol. It's going to help kind of shoot a little adrenaline through you to kind of wake you up in the morning. I remember getting out of the shower during this and just flexing on it. There was nothing to flex really, but you really feel good after a cold shower, let me tell you. Third off, and this kind of goes out to the gentleman watching this video, we're looking to reduce inflammation all over the body, okay? And that includes your prostate, okay? You've been beating Richard probably for the last 10 to 20 years every day. It's time to give it a break. So throughout the fast, however many days you make it, no masturbation. All right, lastly on these ground rules, and this one's very important. This one is super, super important, okay? You're going to be moving some toxins on this fast, okay? And that's going to interfere with your nervous system. This one's very important. You need to see a chiropractor to restore proper neurological flow to all your cells and tissues so that it can restore your body to its innate potential to heal itself. I got adjusted every 3 days when I was doing my fast, and in my opinion, it really made all the difference. All right, now that we've covered the ground rules, we're going to go into pretty much why I made this video, other than being asked how to do a fast by several of my friends, and the more and more you repeat it, it's just like, okay, let me make a video. But primarily the reason I'm making this is to talk about how to properly come out of the fast, because that is just as important, if not more important. So we're going to talk about how to come out of the fast if you did just the 3 to 5 day fast, and then we're going to talk about how to come out of an extended fast, because there's a little tweaks you got to do. So if you're doing the 3 to 5 day fast, which really is the minimum 3 days, every 72 hours roughly, the gut sheds. And if you make it 48 hours, great. You reduce some inflammation, but ideally, like I said, we want to not only reduce inflammation, also kind of, like I said, all disease begins in the gut. We're looking to heal the gut. So to come out of the 3 to 5 day fast, you are going to do, it's essentially a 2-day process. Day 1, you're going to do 48 ounces of beef bone broth, organic beef bone broth. I buy a brand called Bonafide. I get it at Whole Foods. 48 ounces of that. So that's pretty much 2 bags of the Bonafide beef bone broth. And you're still going to wake up and do your Himalayan pink salt. You're going to do the apple cider vinegar at bed. Other than that, essentially only the beef bone broth. Day 2 is you're going to do everything exactly the same as day 1 of coming out of the fast, except now we're going to add 2 cups of organic steamed spinach, as well as 2 cups of organic steamed kale. Ideally, you do more. You can do as much as you want. I did 4 cups of each, but people don't like their vegetables, so let's just say a bare minimum of 2 cups. And we're doing beef bone broth because beef bone broth, very high in collagen. Collagen is a phenomenal gut rebuilder, and that's what, like I said, that's what we're looking for. So after you do the 2 days of the coming out, really on that 3rd day, you can go back to doing whatever you want. Ideally, like I said, you do what I was originally going to do and use this as a tool to jumpstart yourself into something greater. But if not, glad I could help. So if your fast was longer than 5 days, listen closely. To come out, you're going to do 3 days of the Bonafide beef bone broth. So that's 3 days, 48 ounces each day. You could do more, but try to get at least a bare minimum of 48 ounces of the beef bone broth. Then 2 days. So we're 3 days out of the fast. The next day, so the 4th and 5th day, you're going to do the bone broth with the green leafy vegetable. And all of these days, you're going to do the Himalayan pink salt. You're going to do the apple cider vinegar. But like I said, you can do as many cups of the vegetables as you want. Just try to make 2 of each, so 4 total. So on the 6th day, so we had 3 days of bone broth, 2 days of the bone broth, green leafy vegetable. Now on this 6th day, you're going to want it to be on a weekend. You're going to have the runs, some very serious poops. You're going to want to be at home for that. You're going to eat a whole bunch of fermented food. Okay, I'm talking goat's milk kefir, talking kombucha, kimchi, sauerkraut. What others do I have written down here? Pickles. These are just a few of some of my favorite. I think I ate 2 jars of kimchi. I choked down some goat's milk kefir. I hate yogurt. Or the flavor of yogurt. It's not yogurt, it's kefir. I don't really like sauerkraut. I didn't do any sauerkraut, but that's just an option for y'all. And the kombucha, I buy a brand called GT's. It's an organic kombucha. And ideally, there's 2 types. There's the dark bottle GT's kombucha and the light bottle. The light bottle is essentially fruit juice down into a non-alcoholic version. The true version of the kombucha is in GT's black bottle. You're going to want to buy that version if you can. You have to be 21 though, even though it's just barely over the amount that you would need to be 21. But and again, on that 6th day, you're going to do the salt and the apple cider vinegar. And the reason we're doing this fermented food is we really want to stimulate, or we want your first your first real food stimulus to be positive, good gut bacteria. A lot of people are sick now. I mean, gut bacteria is correlated to not only having improper amounts of adipose tissue on your body, but it also is can be traced into cause and relating to disease. So we want to stimulate a proper good to bad gut bacteria ratio. So clearly we are reintroducing food slowly, okay? We're not gonna just sit there and eat this massive meal right off the bat. Oh man, don't do that. Your poor pancreas. Could cause I don't even want to say it's going to cause an insulin shock, but there is that risk. But like I said, you don't want to sit there and just throw this at your body right after when you're done. So reintroduce slowly. It's the safest way. That's the most effective way. And even though you're eating food on these 6 days of reintroducing, you're still going to be in ketosis until you eat that, or you do that fermented day. Then, the kimchi and the kombucha is going to have a little sugar in it that'll probably pull you out. But like I said, so you'll still be in fat burning mode across these 6 days, so you can see some benefits there. They're anti-inflammatory foods too, so you're not going to see any inflammation come back on or anything, maybe a little bit. So I'm not a licensed professional yet, but if I had to give a recommendation of who should do this, try not to do this if you're, starting to creep up on your late 30s, if you're heavily medicated. Even if you're 25 and you're heavily medicated, I hope you're not. But if you are, this probably isn't for you either. But just kind of make a informed decision. And like I said, is this something for me? It might not be. It really might not be. But if it is, go ahead and give it a shot. What do you have to lose? They've been saying, wake up, eat breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day. It is, but they don't tell you when to eat it. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to sit there and just wake up and eat this big meal. That's a video for another day. But anyways, regarding the eat 6 small meals a day, it'll keep your metabolism running, all this stuff. Ask yourself, you've tried it before. Ask yourself, are you still fat? Are you still, chronically inflamed? Give this a shot. What do you have to lose? From a psychological perspective, I can tell you that people didn't really start to notice my weight loss until I got to about 20 pounds. I remember I went to class after my 3rd day. I was down 12 pounds. And first, you start to notice it in your face first off. And I remember the professor go, "Oh, hey, big league haircut." And I was like, no. And I didn't tell anybody until I was on day 9 that I was fasting, because it started to become obvious that I was dropping some weight. But they don't really start to notice until you're at about 20 pounds. But I can tell you from a psychological perspective, nobody will sympathize with you that you're doing this fast, okay? Nobody cares. They will eat right in front of you, okay? They're going to be curious. Oh, you're fasting. Oh, really? Wait, 9 days? 11 days? They will eat right in front of you, though. They don't care. Nobody sympathizes with you. If your friends are going out drinking, they're going out without you. So just plan.